Kia ora, good afternoon. So, I've been sitting immersed in classical music, looking at some beautiful art that has just been made available to me. Some beautiful sort of romanticism, like and I'm just kind of taking everything in, my dream and what I was talking about in regards to fame. And you know how I was saying that with my Beyond Life program, I want to extend it out to work with judges who recognise kids that just need to be put in the right direction instead of being sent to juvie and, all of that. Excuse me, all of that. The thing is, with my foundation, I can make this as big as I want it to. I eventually, by the time I die, I want to turn it into like my own artist colony, my own town, my own sanctuary for the creative minds. I know that because I was married to an artist who he used to be exceptionally talented, but he's lost it. He lost it when he started losing his mind. But before that, he was the one that introduced me to art and culture, through music and, I mean, my parents as well, but classical music. My father was like into opera, and my mum was into jazz, rhythm and blues, all that sort of thing. So my dad they both liked an eclectic mix, but my mum was more jazz, R&B, rhythm and blues, soul music, that sort of thing. My dad was all sorts of things from Elvis Presley, Tina Turner. He loved like the tenors and he loved opera, and he probably in a different world, he played drums in a band, in like a boy band, and he had a voice like Bing Crosby, and he was exceptionally gifted, and in an ideal world he probably should have been a musician or an opera singer. I personally am not a fan of opera. It grates on my nerves. but but I'm sitting here thinking, and I haven't told you the extent of what it is that I'm building. But what I can tell you is that one of the things I learned from being married to the artist formerly known as Chris, the former artist known as Chris, because he's lost his talents now, he's lost his gifts. His artwork is degraded on such a level that it's almost reverted back to childhood, when he used to do the most spectacular oil paintings and that. However, I'm stepping back into that world on my own now of beautiful. I love art galleries. I love to walk around art galleries. One of my dreams is to go to the Louvre. I've been to Paris, but I never got to the Louvre. I stayed in the Sacré-Cœur, and I got to stay where all the greats like Toulouse-Lautrec. I love Toulouse-Lautrec, and I love Lowry and Turner and Rodin, and I fell in love with art, but I fell in love with the artists as well. I got to see Raphael's and Da Vinci's and Van Gogh's and all of that, and I'm proud to be able to say that my boys grew up around that as well. And I know that where the art goes, money follows. And I'm very astute when it comes to business, because my twin is Taurus. So I know where to put the money in order to make it grow. I just need to be given the opportunity to put that money, you know, plant the seeds, and I can grow money trees from it that will produce gold and diamonds forever. Because I know what to invest in, and I just need to be given that opportunity. So when this is all over for me and I can take my money, I'm going to take it to Switzerland, I'm going to plant it and grow a never-ending supply of money trees with it that are going to fund children who are creative and artistic. And I'm thinking about, and I have given it thought before. You know, we're doing everything from comic books to radio, and you know, I'm going to be signing, you know, because I know that there's kids that are going to be coming together who might be artists or writers who have incredible singing voices, who meet up with musician kids there who join bands and stuff, and then my talent agency can sign them up and they can produce their albums and, you know, perform in my concert venue outside and invite people in to listen to it and that, because everybody who walks through my gates knows they're doing it to support the children. In the same way that parents and that tune up to the school nativity play to support the kids, everybody who comes through my gates will be doing the same thing. And when I was trying to find where I was to build, and I was looking at the likes of people like Nayib Bukele, his wife is a former ballerina, and there's a couple of things that I've written, like Message in a Bottle, you know, the one about the Indigenous fairy trapped in the bottle, and even like the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft, and the Rise of the Dragon Queen. There's some things that I've written that could absolutely be turned into ballets. And this is what I'm thinking. The one thing that I haven't covered in my school is dance theatre, like dancers. Kids who love to dance, might not even be professionally trained or anything like that, but kids who love to dance, who want to be, you know, who want to go on Broadway, because the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft is going to be my version of a Broadway musical, and my version of High School Musical, Dork the musical. There'll be some dancing in that as well. So now I'm thinking, because of fame, because Amber reminded me of, you know, how much that TV show inspired me. So now I'm thinking I need to have like a dance school where it's not necessarily where these kids are trained professionals or anything like that, but just kids who want to learn to dance because they love to dance. And we'll have all sorts of kind of dances, from like street dances to ballet and all of that, tap dance, any of them that show an interest or an aptitude for it, like it's going to be on offer. So I need to have like a wee dance studio, I think. It'll also be a great way for people to come, you know, the dance teachers can give classes to anyone coming to stay, anyone in the area who wants to see, because I personally, and I was about to sign up to do this before the second lockdown. I would love to learn ballroom dancing and like, you know, learn to do the waltz and the samba and all of that, like Latin dancing, and learn how to do ballroom dancing just for the sake of, I love the idea of being able to dance with my husband. And when I have, like, because like I said, there's things that I haven't told everyone what I've been creating. And you know, in Beauty and the Beast, when Belle and the Beast come down and they're dancing in the ballroom, she's wearing that beautiful gown and all of that with the chandeliers. I want to hold an annual ball with Brehena Saithusa and the Moon King, where they hold an annual ball, like a magic ball, a magic ball, where we dance under the stars and we dance to a symphony, and we do ballroom dancing and all that sort of thing where we get to wear beautiful gowns and, dress up and just immerse ourselves in the magic of classical music and the Renaissance, like bringing all of that back just for one night a year, having like the North Star Magic Ball, where, we get to, because it gives everyone an opportunity to just dress up and be special for the night where they're in the presence of the King and Queen, which would be obviously Brehena Saithusa, like my character, because like I'm not going to, other than when I do my voice for video games and cartoons and all that sort of thing, Brehena Saithusa herself as the character, she's not something that's going to be making a lot of public appearances, but when she does, it will be for special reasons, and one of them will be, remember I was saying about how my boys and we've got like a festival happening at our foundation every month. Every month we've got something different happening where we get to invite people with for all different kinds of interests. And one of the events that we want to put on is historical reenactments and LARPing and role playing. Where they get to reenact famous battles and, LARPing and role playing. And my dream is that Alatha's dragon, which used to be Andre's dragon, for it to get the kind of following, and also the Your War 2, the D&D version game, that the role-playing game, the board game, that Thomas and I were just starting to develop into a story, because I want to turn it into our version of D&D, because I want to invite people on like a Thursday night who want to play, that do like Warhammer and D&D and all that, to come like on a Thursday night and play the games, play our version of a D&D game and all of that, right? I even want to have like little characters and that you can buy in the game comic book shops and game shops and all that. Thomas and I were developing all of that. My character's Thorgon, and Thorgon was a dwarf, and his ancestors forged the hammers for the gods. So it was Thorgon's ancestors who helped forge all the weapons for people like Thor. They have access to, they're the dwarves that worked in the mines under Mount Olympus and all that to Thor to forge the weapons and that for gods like Thor and Hermes and Sagittarian's bow and all of that. It's Thorgon's ancestors that made those weapons, right? So we want to have LARPing events and, role playing events and that. And so we're going to make it like a whole thing where we'll have marquees up where you'll drink like my ale, because I want to make my own ale, my own beers and all of that. And, you'll have like pigs on a spit and, meat on a spit where you'll get to have it with like, hot pork and gravy rolls and all that sort of thing, and people selling their handmade jewellery and their handmade art and all that sort of thing. And then they have big like LARPing events where at the end of it, like if you come on the Thursday, like on the Saturday night after the battles are done, we eat, drink and be merry. But Brehena Saithusa will come out and she'll sit on her throne with her king by her side, and she will announce, the opening of the game, so to speak, and then close it. And, there'll be trophies that are won and all of that sort of thing. My sons and I planned like this whole thing. And they kept saying to me, like, will you dress up and will you fight in it? And I said to them, absolutely, I'd be Thorgon. I'd dress up as Thorgon. He's got like a big beard that's plaited, and he's a dwarf. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, so he'd be a hilarious dwarf, but I don't know how long I could do it though because of the damage that my stomach took, but I would certainly play some sort of role. but it ties into some of the things that I haven't told you about that we're going to be doing at the foundation. And yeah, so now I'm thinking I need to find dancers, and they, offer them jobs where they can teach kids and teach classes and that. And I'd like to sign up to some of the classes for like ballroom dancing, and I'd like to be able to waltz and, you know, stuff that was easy on my stomach. I couldn't do anything that, put pressure on my scars or pulled on my scars. But it just means that, when we did have our masquerade balls, our magic balls, uh, that sounds, when I, put on my balls, my magic balls, when I dress up in my gowns and that, I'd be able to dance properly, just like Belle and the Beast. So, yeah, so I'm going to have like a wee dance studio. Because, I mean, and it makes sense really, doesn't it? Because with, if we're going to be doing like Dork the Musical and the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft, which is going to be like our version of Cats and all of that, then there's going to have to be some dancing. And with Message in a Bottle and even the Rise of the Dragon Queen, we could absolutely turn them into ballets. I don't know how many ballet dancers we would have at the school, but we could turn them into ballets if we wanted to. So, anyone that wanted to learn how to do basic tap. So, yeah, I'm going to need to find myself some dance teachers, some choreographers and dance teachers, because it's the one thing that I'd kind of left out, but I had been thinking about doing, but would be necessary. And then, we can do, see, with my Soul Collector series, if I was ever to, because, I was thinking of my radio stories could be turned into like little on stage stories, so that, because I had kind of given Saturday night radio over to the dads, to the men, the granddads, the dads, the uncles. So it's all like radio war stories and whodunits and all of that sort of thing. And my Soul Collector series, where she teams up with people like Theo Lazarus, and they go undercover in 1930 Chicago and that. We could have like the kids dressing up like, like Chicago, dressed up like gangsters and that. Bugsy Malone, that musical where all the kids were the adults, where it was kids and kids being adults. And I think it was Jodie Foster and Scott Baio. But they were kids, but they were gangsters, and Charleston, made in Carolina, all that kind of dancing and that. So we'd need dancers, like we'd need kids that were prepared to, learn to do a dance. Because I've been watching, I've been doing a lot of studying the what to do and what not to do when it comes to the kids and Hollywood and acting and all that. And I was watching a thing the other day about actors who weren't trained dancers who ended up being surprisingly good at dancing for the roles that they played where they had to do dancing. So it's like, well, yeah, why not? So I'm just putting it out there. Night of the Black Sun is going to be a radio broadcast musical, but we do have plans of turning it eventually into a movie. There's stuff that I've written that can be so much bigger than what it is I've developed, depending on how much money we have coming into the school, whether I can build schools in other countries. If I can open my stores in other countries, then, all the money would be going in to allow it to happen. I've got so many projects to make that I would need a lot of hands on deck in order to make them. So, I might end up with small games companies like Kiwi2 Games, and that might end up being, a multinational company. If I only get to build one school, it doesn't mean to say that I can't branch the companies out to other countries, so that the games company that I have in Hungary and Canada and New Zealand and all of that are making different games, writing different, making different movies, that sort of thing, opening up my stores all over the world, my hotels, my department stores, my fashion houses, that sort of thing. If I only get to have one school, I can open my businesses in other countries and have all hands on deck. So that's what I'm thinking. There's so much I haven't told you. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to. I'm dying to sit down and talk to the person that I'm dying to sit down and talk to, because there's so much I want to. And we, because my boys and we've built and developed and worked on so much, and I want to. I just want to hurry up and get it done, because it's so exciting what I'm developing, what I've created. There's not going to be anything like it, and hasn't ever been anything like it, and never will be anything like it anywhere in the world. I'm building a whole new world for the. I'm building an artist colony that I one day want to turn into my own town, my own county, my own state, my own whatever. I want to take over the world. But for the creative minds, and of course my space program, being part of that, I don't, I don't like the idea of having masquerade balls because of the Illuminati. But I would like to have, my annual ball. I want to have my annual Christmas party. I want to have my annual Halloween festival and all that as well. But every year, sort of towards the end of summer, I'd like to be able to have a ball where every year I got to wear like a different ball gown, and I, ballroom danced, and we all just had a bit of fun. So, listening to Brahms, I'm just sitting here listening to Brahms, and yeah, it's just, he's very heavy on the oboes and clarinets and piccolos and that, and I think I'm a woodwind instrument girl. So anything that requires a reed. Yeah, so anyway, I want to learn how to read sheet music again. I used to be able to read sheet music when I was a kid. I want to learn how to play the guitar again. I'd love to be able to sit and play the guitar for my little girl. And when we're sitting around the fire pit at my house, when we've been swimming all day and we've had barbecues and drinking my beer and my gin and my vodka and all of that, bring out the guitars, because in my culture that's what we do. We bring out the guitars before we head into the shed and, do the karaoke and all that. We always kick it off with guitars. And I want to learn how to play the guitar again, the acoustic guitar. So, and I was there, and I know I'll pick it up. I know I'll pick it up real easy. I just, oh, I can't wait. I just can't wait. I feel like I've written a symphony, the symphony of my life, and I'm just waiting for all the musicians to join to play their part so that we can perform it for the world. So, yeah, if only you all knew what I was building. If only you knew what I'm about to bring to the world. I know I'll have copycats because I do now, but what I'm building, like with Disney, I'll be known as the world's first. There's only one original, and that's going to be me. And I can't wait to open the gates and let you see it, like Willy Wonka's factory. Open the gates and let you see the wonders of what I've built behind closed doors, with the help of my two sons. So, yeah, my son's gonna love it because he'll get to use his sword fighting and the laughing, and that will be authentic. There's so much I haven't told you, but it's all to make money. It's all to bring in the tourists. It's all to bring in, we're going to have something for everybody to do every weekend. Like, what should we do this weekend? Let's go to FAEA. People will call it FAEA for short, the Foundation Arts and Entertainment Academy. I want to go to FAEA for my birthday. I want to go and stay at FAEA. Take me to FAEA for Valentine's. What should we do this weekend? Where should we take the kids? I'm taking them to FAEA. So, FAEA or the FAEA, whatever. But I know they'll call it FAEA for short. Or the FAEA. So I'm excited. So yeah, so let's add dancing to the mix. I can't wait. I'm so excited. If only you knew what I was building. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō.